All right, let's dive in. Today, we are going on a journey into this hidden world, a kind of insurgency that's happening right under our noses. It's a wild story that starts in the literal physical wreckage of a city, and it ends with the complete rewiring of consciousness itself.
Okay, so this quote, it really sets the scene, doesn't it? It captures that feeling of a system just totally breaking down, a city that feels like it's burning from the inside out. But right there in that wreckage, something new is starting to take root. And that's where our story really begins.
So, Act 1. Before we can really get into the rebellion, we've got to understand what it's rebelling against. This is what you might call the official story. That visible, structured world of rules, of property deeds, and all the rigid beliefs that kind of dictate our daily lives.
And this thing has a name. Let's call it the Surveillance Operating System of Consciousness. It's like this invisible grid laid over our world, both mentally and physically. It tells you who owns what the rules are, and basically how you're supposed to think. It's the system that everything else is a reaction to.
And that brings us to Act 2, the insurgency. These are the counterforces, right? The ghosts in the machine. They operate in the cracks, in the alleyways, in all the forgotten corners of that official system.
So where does this all start? Well, it starts on the ground, at street level, in the forgotten industrial zones of San Francisco's Bayview-Hunters Point. Here, people don't just, live in the wreckage of the old world, they actually thrive in it. They're pulling its bones right up from the rusted waters of the bay.
And listen, this isn't just random crime. No way. It's a complex, hidden economy with its own logic. You've got scrappers pulling valuable copper from old shipyards. RVs get turned into mobile meth labs that can just pack up and move in a second. Semi-trucks become these gold mines for batteries and parts. Solar panels, they're basically a currency for off-grid power. It's a direct, physical response to being totally shut out of the official world.
And this right here, this quote, is everything. It's the why. For the people in this insurgency, the official system isn't just broken, it's a complete fraud. They see it as a game that's been rigged by the powerful. Sure, it's legal on paper, but it's rotten to the core. And that belief, that's the fuel for this whole rebellion.
But it's not just about, physical stuff. The rebellion gets smarter. It moves from the streets and goes right into the system itself, finding ways to hack the very rules that are supposed to keep it all in place.
So how do they do it? Well, they use this incredible legal tool. It's a real loophole called adverse possession. Basically, it's a way to use the system's own laws against it, to seize property that the system has forgotten about or just plain neglected. It's brilliant, really. And this isn't random chaos. There's a playbook. It's calculated. Step 1, you find a property where the owner hasn't paid their taxes. Step 2, you move in, you change the locks. Then you file a simple form with the county, and here's the kicker. You start paying the taxes yourself. You do that for 5 years straight, and that house, it's legally yours. It's a tactical, systematic rebellion.
Okay, so stick with me here, because this is where things get really interesting. We've seen the insurgency in the physical world and in the legal world. But what if the ultimate territory, the real prize to be claimed, isn't a building at all? What if it's the mind itself?
You see that same drive, that same impulse that pushes a scrapper to pull copper from the mud or a squatter to claim a forgotten house? That exact same impulse is now being turned inward. This is the cognitive insurgency, the big push to rewire the mind.
For a long time, the main idea for how to do this was something called rebus. Think of your mind like a snow globe that's been sitting still for way too long, with all the little flakes settled into a fixed, rigid pattern. The idea was that psychedelics were the tool to just shake it all up, to relax the brain's top-down control and just let everything float freely for a bit. It was fundamentally an act of surrender.
But now there's a new model taking shape. And it's not about surrender, it's about construction. It's called recursive vector interference, or RVI. This approach treats the brain not as something to be dissolved, but as a city of light. The thinking is that a lot of our suffering is just bad traffic flow between our thoughts. So RVI is like being a city planner for your own mind, consciously redirecting the signals, building new highways and roundabouts to create stronger, more efficient pathways.
So let's just break this down, side by side, because the difference is huge. Rebus is a solvent. It dissolves things. RVI is a splicer. It builds and connects. One is about letting go. The other is about building up. Rebus is kind of like an anesthetic to numb the pain,
while RVI is more like an ethic, a whole new way to live. The old way said, surrender to the wind. This new way says, no, build structures for the wind.
And look, this is the key. This isn't just some academic disagreement. It's not about one idea being right and the other wrong. The tension between them, between rebus and RVI, between surrender and construction, between the official system and the insurgency, this conflict is what creates something entirely new. It's a dialectic.
And all that tension, it leads us to Act 3, the synthesis. Because the ultimate goal here isn't just to tear down the old system or even just to escape it. The real goal is to build a new one, to literally terraform a new reality from the inside out.
So what does that look like? Well, it's this huge idea, cognitive terraforming. Think about it. If your mind is a landscape, we're not just planting a new tree here. We're changing the entire climate. It's about renovating the very building codes of your psyche, a tactical jailbreak from that official story we started with.
So, the first rule of this new reality is to live your autofiction. What does that mean? It means you actively shape your own life experience into a myth, a legend. You become both the writer and the main character in your own story. You reframe everything. So a job loss? That's not a failure anymore. It's the inciting incident for your next amazing chapter. You control the narrative.
I love this quote. It's so perfect. The old system, the state, it builds walls to keep you in a box, to contain you. The new insurgency, it doesn't waste time trying to knock down the walls. It just creates its own tools for freedom. It prints exits.
And this is the end goal. Neurocognitive liberation. It's not about trying to find some pre-made reality out there that fits you. It's about clawing your own reality from the jagged edges of ruin and resistance. It's about freeing your mind from its old pre-scripted programming and literally writing a new source code for yourself.
And this is the call to action, the manifesto for this new way of life. Blur the lines between play and work. Break the contracts that hold you back. Set your own damn rules. Live on your own terms. And dance through the wreckage, because this was never just a battle for the streets or for property. This is, and always has been, a battle for the soul.
So you see, we've come full circle, haven't we? We started with the physical city, a mind that's outlived its body, full of wreckage and forgotten corners. And we ended with the internal brain, a city of light, just filled with pathways waiting to be built. The insurgency is the bridge that connects them both.
And really, in the end, it all comes down to this one single question. If your brain is a city, and your consciousness is the reality that you build inside it, then who gets to write the building codes? Who holds the power to architect your reality? That's the real question.